I'm here with DONELL, who is the Technical Director of the academies in India. And being Technical Director, I guess the first question I have to ask you is, what's the state of Indian football?
Yeah, well, it's improving. It's one thing, but it's improving slowly. We've got a lot of work to do. For me, if I'm honest, there's been very little youth development, very little grassroots football being played in India over the last 10, 15 years. So we've got to start with that. We've got to start with the grassroots football and get as many boys and girls playing football for the fun of it and having fun. And then we can start looking at the more talented players, and then we can start building from there. But for me, the importance is building that base and having a good grassroots football system in place.
So can you describe very briefly what your role exactly is?
Yeah, well, my role is appointed by FIFA to come in to help India set up academies. So we've set up 4 academies at the moment now for various age groups, and we're looking for more. So my main role is to set up the academies, educate the coaches, oversee the running of those academies, but also I also have a role now with grassroots football, developing grassroots programs for FIFA and AIFF, and also coach education, which is something that is very important.
What are you trying to improve on specifically when youngsters are coming in?
Yeah, it's a good question. Overall, we want them to be technically better. We want the players to be comfortable, so even if you're marking me, I still want the ball because I'm technically good enough to do it. And we want our players to be like that. We don't want them just to kick the ball anywhere. We want them to think about when they've got the ball. We want them to think and keep possession of the ball. And everyone says Barcelona is the pinnacle of possession football, and that's right. And if we're kidding ourselves if we can be like Barcelona, but we can use them as a model, and we can encourage our players and we can equip our players to be technically good enough to be able to get the ball in tight areas and play. And we've got to give the players the confidence to do that, and also the knowledge that if they make a mistake, they make a mistake. It doesn't matter. We've got to make sure that we're coaching our players in an environment where they feel comfortable taking risks and comfortable making mistakes, and they're not going to get abused or criticised if they do make a mistake.
Do you think that's one of the problems with Indian football? That is, it's super competitive.
Yeah, well, I think particularly at a grassroots level, 6 to 12, it's just about fun. Boys and girls having fun. Forget about winning. And the biggest problem we've got, one of the problems we've got is this age cheating that we've experienced in India. And the part of that is because they want to win. And it's great to want to win, but you don't do it cheating, you do it by playing good football. So we've got to try and the coaches have to understand that. I know at the professional level, the coaches live and die by their results. But at the development level, it's not about results, it's about developing the players. So if our academy coaches know that if they develop the players, it doesn't matter about the results. Yeah, we like to win, but more important for me and for Rob Barn and everyone else at the All Indian Football Federation is we want to see the players develop and encourage the players to play the style of football that we want them to play. We don't want hopeful balls long, we want to keep the ball and try to play.
So you talked about Barcelona as a model. Are there any other clubs who you think play great football that you can aspire to?
Yeah, I said Barcelona is something to aspire to. We're not modelling ourselves on Barcelona, but I like watching Arsenal, I like watching Manchester United, I like watching Real Madrid. I mean, if everyone played like Barcelona, then world football would be boring. So everyone's got to have different styles, and we've got to do what's best for India. And if you look at the Indian physique, there's not many big players there, so there's no point playing high, hopeful balls, you know. So we've got to try and play a style of football where we can keep possession, and we can't do that unless we're technically capable of doing that. So it's a chicken and egg situation. We've got to try and develop the players, but at the same time, everyone wants results for the national team as well. So Vim's trying to do that with the national team, but at the clubs they might be doing something else. So we've got to try and it's a long-term process, but we've got to try and get the players understanding and the coaches and the different clubs the benefits of playing the way that we're trying to introduce.
And after to end with, what's your footballing dream?
Yeah, I've got so many dreams, it depends where I am. I mean, my dream here in India is to see our academy players develop, and I've said this to all the academy boys when they join the academy. There's nothing I'd love more than if I came back to India in 10 years' time and they're all playing for the national team. and they're playing professional football. That's my dream here in India, is to see the players develop. And I'd be so proud if I come back in 10 years and half the boys we've selected are now playing for the Indian national team. That would be a big buzz for me. Obviously big for the players as well, but I think India in professional football has a big future. I mean, there's the I-Leagues there, but that can improve, and that's what the All India Football Federation are trying to do. So, I mean, there's a big future for football in India. We've just got to get the resources behind us and start doing things well.
Thanks so much for talking to us, Scott, and best of luck.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hi, I'm Scott O'Donnell. I'm the Technical Director for the academies here in India, and you're watching Total Football.